matchup deck-wise at the Invitational.
Yeah, we were just saying that this was a rematch of the Mythic Invitational Finals, though it was GLOGOWSKI there who he had the blue tempo deck, and that was the only one in the field. MEGUCCHI, he had the Esper midrange, or rather Esper control, and the mono red aggro.
Yes, what's interesting here for MEGUCCHI and his mono white aggro deck, which we'll go to here in just a moment, I'm sure, is it's worth noting that there's no blue splash. Again, we're seeing some players elect to not go towards the blue splash, and how that's going to have an effect against Esper midrange. MEGUCCHI's most notable finish, of course, is winning that Mythic Invitational at PAX East. Congratulations to him. We're going to get to see so many pictures on Twitter of all of the awesome cards he's buying and all of the pasta he will be eating. But for PIOTR, it's certainly interesting to note that he's maybe your youngest player here. He's your least accomplished player, but he loves the challenge of it all. Canister, as he's known on Magic Online, loves to brew, loves to play crazy decks, Lantern Control, Amulet Titan, all that stuff. I think it's keeping it pretty traditional here with Esper midrange.
Well, let's head over to MEGUCCHI's deck and see if he's changed anything since that Invitational.
Well, this is very close to all 4X Mania, which I do like. Couple of one-ups here, though, Becca. You're gonna see a Snubhorn Sentry, 2 Tide Takers, and 1 copy of a Ajiani, Adversary of Tyrants. So that's your other 4 of that split as a 2/1/1. The rest of this stuff is, again, what we're pretty used to seeing, though. At the 2-drop spot, not Tide Taker, it's a Adanto Vanguard, and then that Rune Enforcer, popular card in these white aggressive decks. I like it.
Yeah, looks like the only thing that he changed from adding for more of the spark was that Rune Enforcer. Undeniably good. And Pyotr GLOGOWSKI with the Esper mid-range.
So we saw this deck much earlier in the day in the hands of Brian Brondoon, among others, and this one is based around Hero of Precinct 1 if you're just joining us and unfamiliar with the strategy, and a lot of multicolored cards, of which you're going to find plenty of them. Worth noting, however, main deck copies of Basilica Bellhaunt. You don't often see that anymore. That card was kind of deemed obsolete in the previous standard format. It is here now. 4 copies of Thief of Sanity, not really going to surprise you. The Teferi is not going to surprise you either, a 3/3 split. And then, of course, all these multicolored lands across the Esper Shard. Ugin might surprise you, as 2 copies main deck does feel like a lot along with Search for Azcanta. So for me, Brian, this is a bigger build of Esper midrange.
It is, yeah, certainly. He has a lot more sort of control elements, a lot more survivability elements with the Bell Hunt in particular. Ugin is interesting. When we saw Brian Brondoon playing the deck, he had the Liliana, Dreadhorde General, at the sort of top.
Checking for a basic, excuse me, not a basic always, an island or a swamp, so Watery Grave and Hallowed Fountain, all that good stuff. Couple copies of Thought Eraser, but he's going to send those all back, and this is not much better, folks.
Yeah, it's a lot worse, if anything. Does how to keep it, but you don't. Even if it is worse, you have less options when you have a 6-card hand going to 5. You at least have that scry to try and get the second land here, and he does find it immediately.
Watery Grave entering the battlefield tap. That was kept on top with the scry. We will head back over to MEGUCCHI, who will play a Legion's Landing after the Dauntless Bodyguard. So 1/1 Vampire will join the fray, and if 1's good, 2's better. Legendary Enchantment means he's going to have to lose one of those copies of Legion's Landing, but the 2 Vampires will stay. Bodyguard will come in, and threatening a transformation as soon as turn number 2.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy here. Only the ability to get damage in, but the ability to continue to build his board. And crucially, Piotr's deck does not have any kind of sweepers here. Even after sideboarding, there's no Kaya's Wrath, there's no Cry of the Carnarium. So there's nothing he can do outside of another copy of Deputy of Detention, of which there's only a single copy left in his deck, that can really deal with a wide board of soldier tokens. So, MEGUCCHI can really confidently make it a big attack with a lot of creatures and really build up his board.
We'll see how MEGUCCHI wants to navigate this game. Again, this one's getting pretty interesting. We're getting pretty deep into it. Looks like Conclave Tribunal is where we're going to begin things. We'll see what that's going to target. It's going to target the Zombie Army token that was a 4/4 that was kind of holding up the battleground, and now here comes old Snubby Dubby.
He got a nice. Now he's getting in there. He's like, "You mocking me?
That's right.
You mocking me?"
Yeah, Snubhorn says, "Yo, who wants to block? Who wants to party?" Yeah, nobody wants to block. And now here's Sky Marcher Aspirant.
And Thief of Sanity is the draw, which right now, it threatens to trade with Aspirant, but I doubt that's what it'll do. And crucially, the last copy of Conclave Tribunal was used. MEGUCCHI decided that he wanted to try to get in there, and now Banalish Marshal. Ooh, that is a big draw.
That's really, really big, because those kind of throwaway tokens are actually real threats now against the 1/1s and the 2/2s that are hanging out there on Canister's side, and I would not be surprised to see everybody get in there, but most notably, the Snubhorn.
The king among dorks.
That's right. Biggest creature on the battlefield right now. Yeah, this is a very good attack here because, again, you're looking at Canister who doesn't have much life to work with, so blocks have to be made here. You'd love to be able to set up a game in which, as we look through the graveyard and maybe count, are we going to count them all again? Yeah, let's do a quick count of all the lands we've drawn. Thief of Sandy was maybe looking to take over this game if a removal spell was drawn to take care of the Sky Marcher Aspirant, but a top deck Benalis Marshall has changed the game. Some blocks will be tendered here in just a moment, but it's not looking good for fans of Canister right now.
Not at all, and in particular, there's just so much damage coming through even with these blocks. You know, these are soldier tokens. These aren't life-leaking vampires, so there's no extra life available, no more cushion like you sometimes see the white decks have with their tokens.
Canister hoping that it does not repeat performance from the finals of the Mythic Invitational, looking to get a little revenge here against ANDREA MEGUCCCI, but
it's looking tough.
The draw steps have not been too favorable for our Esper mid-range player. You know that Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, was threatening to take over the game, but MEGUCCCI was just sitting on a bunch of Conclave Tribunals. Fortunately for him, he was able to answer the powerful Planeswalker and keep running away with the game.
Looking for blocks, but you know, I mean, these look to me like they're probably the best blocks available. Leaves him alive at 1. Well, he does still have one more token in play he can block with. Or is that also blocking the 2/2?
It looks like he's got one more token to block with, yeah. So he hasn't elected to block with that one just yet. And it looks like maybe he's saying, I want to keep my Hero of Precinct 1 alive.
I think that's his best road to victory is somehow something involving Hero of Precinct 1. Maybe if he draws Enter the God Eternal with Hero of Precinct 1 on board, he can Enter the God Eternal on maybe the Benalis Marshall. Does lead to a bloodbath down to just one life. That is a hostage taker. Whoa, hold on.
So that hostage taker is going to come in. It can take something, can also make a token for hero and then recast something. That's a huge shift.
Right. So let's say you hostage taker Benalis Marshall. You recast Benalis Marshall. You end up with 5 creatures to, unfortunately, 6 creatures at 1 life.
Yeah, so you end up, and it ends up being 6 because if you take the Benalis Marshall off of the battlefield right now, you're going to count 5 on MEGUCCCI's side, but MEGUCCCI can activate the Adanto, and that's creature number 6, which is the 1 point of power that can sneak on through. At least that's what I'm noticing right now.
Yeah, it's looking at everything here that looks like how this will likely play
hang on. Hostage Taker enters the battlefield. Exile another target creature artifact until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. So if we exile our Deputy of Detention,
okay,
we exile that, and then we recast it, and we take care of the 2 vampires. Does that change anything?
That's an interesting option. What happens then? So you hostage taker your own guy, your own Deputy Detention.
Hostage taker, make a token.
And then you play it. So you get a token from the hostage taker, then you get a token from the Deputy Detention, then you exile both vampires. I like where you're going with this.
And then then there's a bodyguard, a marshal, a snub, and a 3/3, and then an Adanto, and then you have enough creatures. The question is, are your creatures actually good enough to go toe-to-toe in combat by doing this? It might buy you another turn to get to Enter the God Eternals, and I think this is a play that he can make. So step 1's casting Hostage Taker. We know that. Trigger, target, Deputy.
Yeah, he sees it. He's going for it.
I promise I did not watch this match before it happened. Me and my big brain found that by ourselves. Here's Deputy Detention being taken hostage.
Yeah. So this at least will give Canister a little bit of breathing room here. And again, the Deputy Detention, even if it does die, you know, it's hitting tokens. So those tokens, assuming that's where he goes, well, he could hit Benalis Marshall, right?
Oh yes.
Wasn't he can hit Conclave Tribunal, bring back the Fairy. All of the Conclave Tribunals in the world.
Let's play some Magic.
Okay, all right.
Minus Benalis Marshall. See ya. All right, we got a game.
Yeah.
6 creatures to 6
totally
creatures.
Blanking the fact that Deputy Detention can hit
your go.
the Conclaves.
Oh, I like it, Canister. I like you.
All right, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Fade. I don't know what he's trying to fade, but just fade it. Just fade it, whatever it is. Draw planes. All right, let's play. Let's play.
All right, well, now from 1 life with this sequence of hostage taker into Deputy Detention has
Canister
really turned things around. All of a sudden, MEGUCCHI, still is in an okay spot if he can fade draws, right? Because with it down to the first fort, if Canister does not draw action cards off of his draw and Teferi, he's dead. But that's a lot to ask. You have to have him not draw any multicolor card, period, because of Hero of Precinct 1.
And your opponent, of course, Canister, in this situation for you MEGUCCHI fans, that's game! That's game!
Oh, finale of Eternity. Oh,
that's
my.
Game!
Oh, dear. That, well...
Is that for a 10? Is that a 10 for?
I think it might be.
Oh, yes. Count your lands. Count your lands again. Aren't you glad you flooded?
Finale of Eternity, disrupted 3 target creatures toughness X or less. If X is 10 or more, return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battle.
A 2, a 3.
I will choose these.
We call these clippable moments. That's what these are.
This is finale for a reason.
Yes.
It's I imagine this is likely to be the final play.
Oh, baby. Oh,
Oof,
baby.
Gain some life, take some hostages. We were looking at this and we were like, oh, is Canister out of it? And he's like, no. No.
Dude, we get paid to watch this happen. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Take this. Basilica Belhaunt that. Hostage take that. This is an amazing game. Excuse me, an amazing game.
Yeah, this is pretty incredible.
Oh, he's feeling frisky. Getting into the red zone now.
I like that he's just stacking with one guy.
Oh, yeah.
Just the one.
Oh, yes. Canister is Canister is literally my favorite player. Literally my favorite player in this tournament.
Oh, and the concession from MEGUCCHI. Wow, that was an incredible turnaround. It just told me, get ready for game 3. I'm not sure I'm ready for game 3.
I'm not sure either.
Can we just watch that one again?